Well, good morning, good afternoon. It's still morning here where I am, but I know that it is afternoon for most of you. How are you doing this wonderful Thursday, Friday Eve? I love it when we get closer and closer to Friday. So I just want to um, make sure that I give credence to it. All right. So it is March 20th. It is Thursday, March 20th, and considered the first day of spring. And I was looking it up and I was trying to figure out because I kept thinking everybody was saying March 20th is the first day of spring. And I said, I always thought it was March 21st. But apparently, it has something to do with a vernal equinox, whatever that is, something about the sun being aligned with the equator. And as I looked at that, I was just thinking how we have to be in tuned and aligned with knowing the seasons and the change of seasons. So it's springtime. What is spring? Spring is the birthing out of wonderful things. It is when the flowers begin to bloom. I have my little, can you see these? Yeah, little orchids that my daughter had given me for Mother's Day that are still growing and hanging in there. Or not Mother's Day. What was it? Valentine's Day. That's right, because we haven't gotten to May yet. I'm really rushing the year on. But anyway, so I was thinking about that. And like I said, like the sons of Issachar, where they could discern the seasons and the times. And it is so very, very important for us to discern the seasons and the times that we are in. As you can see, I changed my background again, just kind of looking and thinking, what do I want from my background for this new season? And it just seemed so that, the background talked about the authority that we have over the enemy. Because in this new season that we are trafficking in and that we are finding ourselves in, we have to understand our role and our place in the season. So again, the season of spring springs forth blossoms and blooms and new life, and should be invigorating. People get spring fever. It's like you just don't want to stay inside. You want to jet outside and enjoy the day. I have a house gathering that I'm doing on Saturday, and I looked, and it's going to be in the 70s, and so people can be outside or inside, and it's going to be beautiful, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But what is the season that we find ourselves in spiritually? All right. That's what's really, really important to discern. And so, one of the reasons why I picked this background is because this is the season. It's always the season, but this is key that this is the season that we see the Lion of the tribe of Judah standing in his glory, standing in his arraignment, standing in knowing who he is, and us standing under him, knowing who we are in him. And I thought that was so appropriate for the season that we find ourselves in, because so many people are in a panic right now. So many people are walking in fear. So many people don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. We never know what tomorrow is going to hold. I mean, when you really, really think about it, it's like we make all of these plans. And as the joke goes, God laughs at the plans of man because he already knows the plans he has for us. But we have to make sure that we are aligned to the things of God. We are aligned to who is in control, not a man in a house, even if it's white. Okay. Blink, blink. We are aligned to the person that is actually in control, and that's God Almighty, Yahweh. And that we're following the example that Yeshua came to give us. And so that we only say the things that we hear our Father say, we only do the things that we see our Father do. And you have never, ever, ever seen your Father walk in fear. You have never, ever, ever seen your Father unprepared for what was to come. Why? Because he knows everything. And so he is always in control. He is always prepared. So if you can see him standing in his glory, in his adornment, in his arraignment, knowing that he is in control, he has the authority over everything, then there is absolutely nothing I mean nothing with a capital N that you should be fearful of. Nothing. Because you're aligned and you're connected to your source. And that's him. He is your life source. He's your life blood. He is in whom you move and have your very being. So there's nothing to be fearful in this earth realm about. He has given you power and authority to rule and to reign in this earth realm. I have a new book that's coming out shortly, and it's dealing with the ecclesia and what that means to be a part of God's governmental body. I'm really, really excited about it. I have a meeting about it tonight. It should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. And I think that it is going to really bless people in this season so they recognize and understand who they are because of who they belong to. So we've got to come out of that place of fear and, oh my God, what's going to happen? And did you see this? And did you hear that? And yada, yada, yada. Stop it. It is time to utilize the example that Christ gave. I only speak what I hear my Father say. So that means you've got to stay in the position with your spiritual ears open and in tune to hear what Father is saying. And that's what you speak. Yeah. Listen, I'm just as guilty as everybody else. I have my own opinions of what's going on. I have my own opinions of who's in quote unquote authority and governmental entities, not just in America, but all over across the world, because I'm a global individual. So I'm in tune to the global landscape and how each country affects the other country and how it moves and orchestrates. You stop being so narrow-minded. You know, God said, ask me for the nations and I will give them to you. Well, if you're going to go to the nations, you need to know about the nations. Hello, let's expand our capacity to receive. Okay. So that we understand what's going on. So like I said, I'm just as bad as everybody else to have my own opinion. But in the midst of my own opinion, I recognize and understand that it's not my opinion that matters. See, because I still have my own proclivities. I still have my own emotions. I still have my own thought patterns because God gave us the freedom of choice. But even in that, I choose to hear and obey what God is saying in the midst of what's going on. Lord, I choose to excel, to expand, to grow, to do all that you created me to do in the midst of whatever is going on. There is chaos and darkness all about us. But guess what? This is our hour to shine because it's only in the darkness that the light shines, and we were created to be light. Come on, people. Let's get it together. Let's stop with the doom and the gloom and the worrying and then sticking your head in the sand and not wanting to do or say anything. It's time to arise. Arise and shine, for thy light has come, and the glory of the Lord has risen upon you. Look at this illustration. The glory, look at the fire of God. It has risen upon you. And it's time for you to lay hold on that and to rise up and to be all that He called you to be. This is the season. This is the time. Hey, Pastor Seneca. Hey, little brother. This is the time. It is time, it is time, it is time. So come on, let's do it. All right? Let's stop with the doom and the gloom. Let's take on the mantle of discerning the seasons, the signs of the time, so that we can walk therein and make sure that we are all that God created us to be. Because He created greatness in each and every one of us. And we cannot exhibit that and allow the world to see Him in and through us if we're walking around bound up in fear, in trepidation, intimidation. Not now. This is not the season. It is the season. I want to put my lionesses back up now. It's the season to roar. It's the season to roar in God. As He gives the unction. His word said, if you open your mouth, He will fill it. Allow Him to do that. All right. All right. That's my nugget for today. Happy spring. All right. It is time to spring forth. It is time to be all that the Lord created you to be. All right. All right. You have an absolutely positively, incredibly fantabulous day. And as always, you know, I love you with the love of Christ, and there's nothing you can do about it. God bless you. Yes, Pastor, it is our now season. It is our now